With that being said, it started off so good with The Force Awakens and Rogue One, like back to back. And then what happened?
That's what I'm saying. I don't get how you fumble the ball with such a large IP. And then, like we kind of said, Star Wars has been around for so long.
The 70s.
Dude, so like, I guess, you know, as like Disney buys his IP, and are they betting that, oh, the movies is going to be what gives them their money back, or are they betting that, oh, subscriptions, or you know, like at this point I'm not sure where they're at with that, you know.
When do they buy it? In 2012 or 13, something like that? Because the first movie comes out 2015. So I'm assuming they buy it in 2012, 13, somewhere around there.
Sounds about right.
I don't think Disney Plus is on their mind at the time, because the only thing out at that point is Netflix. Like the streaming wars doesn't happen until later. I'm sure these big CEOs, maybe they've thought way into the future about it, but there's no way. They definitely purchased it thinking money.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying in the 70s, it was like, oh, wow, we did something. Let's keep releasing this same movie over and over again and keep making tons of money. Oh, now let's make toys. You know, Star Wars, you know.
Toys is what did
let's associate Star Wars with Christmas. Every year, like Star Wars, baby.
George Lucas, man.
That's what I'm saying. So I guess, you know, you're Disney. Yeah, it makes sense. Star Wars is a massive IP. It has so many people's hearts, like from so many different generations. Like, it's a no-brainer. If you can buy it, buy it.
But it's so weird how, like, they buy the MCU, and the MCU goes on to be bigger than Star Wars for this generation. Thanos, to, like, my nephew, is way more popular than Darth Vader, which is crazy to say.
Is interesting, huh?
But maybe it depends. You know, like, maybe it's just, you know.
Well, I guess that ties back, because with the MCU, I mean, it has its comic books. They have all these different, like, possibilities and universes. And with Star Wars, I think what I'm appreciating about this era is, like we said, let's close the book on the Skywalker stuff.
Yeah.
We're tired of Death Stars. We're tired of Skywalkers. Let's talk about all these other interesting characters.
For so long, we've been talking about, like, at least me and you, my brother, I've been talking to my friend Andy about it. Like, let's just go to the era where there's just war.
Yeah.
And there's politics, but good politics, right? Like, some, maybe not so much Game of Thrones. I was about to say Game of Thrones shit, but maybe not even that much. But, like, let's get into this era where we have these badass battles. Like, if it's going to be a movie, let's use that budget. Let's have these badass choreographed, using the Force, like you hit different Force powers,
the
like
Old Republic.
The Old Republic, yeah. And I've never played the game. I never read anything. I just know what you've told me, and I've seen like the videos that they release for like the game, and it looks nothing like the game. But they have the coolest cutscenes, or at least the coolest like promo videos.
It's like that budget. We want that.
Give us that, but live action, and that's it. You'll make so much money.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but like make a story that earns that battle. I don't want 2 hours of just battle, right? Like, give us something else. We want to get away from this Skywalker thing. But again, Disney bought it for money. What says money? Skywalker's, like all the things that they know it for.
Yeah.
So they didn't buy it for creativity, which is probably why we should give Dave Filoni all the credit. That this man is just creative and gets to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau made Iron Man. And then he starts off a universe with Mandalorian.
There you go. He loves armor.
He loves
and he flies.
But yeah, overall, I think it really is 50-50, because there's been some good stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but like, oh my God, if we're just talking about the movies, I think it's been a huge failure, because if you would have had this conversation with me after The Last Jedi, I liked The Last Jedi, at least 2/3 of it. I didn't like a third of it, which is like the whole like casino, because it felt like an episode of like a Clone Wars, which is like they're trying to teach me a lesson that like, hey, there's bad guys on both sides. Like, I don't want to do this right now. Like, that's cool. Do that somewhere else. Yeah. But anyway, we're not going to get into The Last Jedi. But point is, I do like it. So it's not like I fell off after that.
Yeah.
But then their follow-up with Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And it was just like, let's undo with what that movie undid. And it's just like, why are you guys fighting each other? I don't care about your politics behind the scenes.
It is annoying, because if you're going to do a trilogy, be concise. Or at least do one director the whole way through or something. I mean, that I think was frustrating. And I feel like, again, like I've never been a hater of any one project, but lately I find myself questioning, like, why does the 7, 8, 9 exist? Like, what are we ever gonna do with those?
Right.
You know, because right now we keep talking about after 6, but we don't like want to get close to 9 to 7.
Well, the Filoniverse is supposed to get there, and again, I keep teasing it. We'll get there when we talk about the upcoming projects because I think there's your answer. Ultimately, the real reason is they just wanted money.
Yeah,
and I brought up the MCU because they bought the MCU once they were already established and they had a team, and they're kind of like, all right, you guys do your thing.
That's true.
They bought Star Wars and tried to put like a team together, but like there was no direct idea or path or creativity. Like it was kind of just like, okay, we have this IP, now what? And they started doing it like piece by piece, like kind of how the Star Wars originally started. Like they try to get a new director every time. But it's like, but you guys don't have a George Lucas who has an overall idea.
And the thing too is like they had so much to work with as far as like all those books that were written. Because literally
they could have done the Marvel thing.
Every book, I think they kind of did.
Yeah, like with bringing Thrawn back.
Yeah, but like every book that came out in those 30 years of nothing all had to do after, you know, episode 6. So they had so much to work with there to be able to pick apart what we like that, we don't want that.
But they wanted the original cast back. Yeah. So you have to make all that canon.
I guess this enters like a new discussion. I'm taking over your podcast.
Sure. No, if you got questions for me, go for it. Welcome to the fourth leg.
With this one, we talk about capitalism and yeah, this is a new podcast.
Damn.
The problem is that Star Wars has always been so interweb with commercial success that you're right. I mean, let's not play around with it. Like, you know, Disney bought Star Wars for money and they keep making decisions based off of that. Like, if we're going to talk about how Grogu should have been no longer in the show but was kept around because it caught eyeballs, it has a bunch of gifs and memes and it gets people talking. Like, I guess more than anything, that's the story of Star Wars is how much can we make this commercial? How much can we make this a success, a profit maker? So, I mean, I guess like you can say that about anything. What's the motive of making anything?
I mean, but again, like if you have a team, because ultimately writers are, which they're on a writer's strike right now. Writers are like the soul of creativity. They are literally creative.
Yeah.
And they have every intention of making something good and fun and whatever. It's everybody above them that has to, you know, steer them in the wrong direction or, you know, mess with their idea.
They're like, yeah. But can we keep Grogu?
But like, at least like with the MCU, again, like they had somebody like original Star Wars had George Lucas. They had MCU has Kevin Feige. They have a team.
Yeah.
There was just never any like, all right, this is like the think tank.
Skywalker Ranch, where were you?
I mean, well,
where's the timeline on the wall in the room?
Oh, they did. It is there, right? Jeez, I can't imagine that timeline. But yeah, overall, I would say that I'm glad it was bought and we got more Star Wars, and we have had some good from it.
Yeah,
it hasn't been all bad. I just hope that with their new movies going forward, that they close out what they want to do with the Skywalker saga, because we are getting another movie with Rey. We're going to get a movie. Again, we're not even in that section yet, but just really quick, we're going to get a movie about the very first Jedi, and then we're going to get a movie. Yeah. And then we're going to get another movie. I'm forgetting what it is, but point is, like, we're finally jumping around to different eras, and I feel like this, because it's 3 different eras, these 3 movies. Oh, and the Filoni one. I feel like this is them testing, okay, which one makes more money? Which era are we going to stay in for a little bit?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I hope the Old Republic, it's not even Old Republic, it's legit the first Jedi.
Yeah.
But I hope we can get to a point where we get to a new era and stay there for a little bit and explore it. And there's so many projects announced and canceled. It's so messy. So messy.
Yeah. It looks like they're just shotgun.
Yeah.
Let's see
throwing
which one
stuff
hits.
at the wall. Yeah. But overall, you think it's been a success?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I feel, again, there's just a lot of people that I know have never touched Star Wars. Like, I think, like, my sister, or my girlfriend's sister, like, knows Star Wars anything, not suddenly, like, Grogu and all that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, Grogu is big.
Yeah, big time.
I don't, again, like, if we're thinking about, like a commercial standpoint or a CEO standpoint, I get it.
Yeah.
that Grogu took over the world that first season. And the second season was like all about him even more.
Yeah. And then we also have to remember, like, Star Wars is supposed to be like this family friendly, like, and every family gets together, we watch it, and I know I'm nodding with you because, dude, you know, I'm just saying, if you want to do Old Republic, High Republic, whatever the hell you want to do, if you want to go back in the past, you can explore some dark themes in Star Wars that would be badass. And like that's why I think of Andor, because Andor,
I still haven't seen it.
Andor has some dark themes, and I like it. I'm like, yes, give me Cyberpunk
I
Star
need
Wars.
to see Andor like sooner rather than later, because I've heard some people recently saying this, because I've been following like the Ahsoka talk and all that. I heard some people saying that Andor is the best Star Wars property. Just like,
I think people who say that want a more mature Star Wars.
yeah,
And I think we deserve it.
I don't think mature means better. Like you can have a lighthearted Star Wars, but
That's true.
with the world of Star Wars, I think it's supposed to be dark.
It's just we keep telling stories about certain people in the Star Wars society, and it's like in a lot of Star Wars, people are struggling.
Take a shot every time we say Star Wars, by the way. Star Wars.
For reals, damn.
All right, so moving on. We kind of already alluded to it, but Skywalker Saga, let's just
Let it die.
let it die. Let's do this Rey one, because she's a Skywalker now. So let's do that movie. Let's end this saga on a nice, neat little bow, and let's have it be a good movie, and let's move on. I think that's part of it. It's like they're just like, damn, we can't leave that saga like that.
Yeah.
Whoever it may be. What's her name? Who's in charge?
I don't even know.
What's her name?
Want to look her up?
Chat, put it in the comments.
Yeah, you do the work.
Yeah, we don't got time for this shit. We got some comments.